Hello, chefies. Here I am going to share the role of executive chef. And I think why you should listen to me is because I have trained 16 to 20,000 chefs since 2003 and have produced the most number of executive chefs of all the chefs that I know. Of all the chefs that I know. And I don't say that to brag, I say that so that you understand where I'm coming from. So 16,000 graduates have passed through me. More. I have executive chefs in Alaska, on the ships, in Dubai, in America, many here in the Philippines, Singapore, you name it, they're everywhere. And the role of executive chef is the same. However, in this particular video, we're going to talk about the highest role of executive chef, the hotel executive chef. So let's get started. Let's start by debunking some myths. Most people think being an executive chef is about being the fastest, most badass cook on the line. It's not. In fact, if you're still plating one dish every time, you are not executive chef. At best, you're a chef de cuisine or head chef. There's a massive identity shift that has to happen. If you are plating and cooking as executive chef, your managers and your boss will look at you as if you don't know what you're doing because your role now is to be chief operations officer of the food and beverage revenue. I'll repeat, you're now COO of the F&B revenue. Sounds complicated? Not really. Basically, you're operating everything so that the food makes money. And if it doesn't make money, your name is said in a very bad way. So you must find a way to make money for the property. So this time you're managing not the stove, but you're managing a portfolio of different revenue streams. And if you stick around to the very end, I'm going to introduce you to a concept that not many chefs have heard of, but is the ultimate requirement for executive chef. So next up, point number two is your new tribe, your stakeholder web. Stakeholder means the people you have to deal with. So that it was always cooks, sous chefs, drinking after hours. And I will say that it's fun, but it will also make your journey towards executive chefs longer, slower, and less credible. Because what you need to do during your change is in your stakeholder web is to start talking with owners, corporate brand, suppliers, the CFO, accounting, the chief steward, PR, marketing, sales, and the customer. And if you're not able to speak their language, you'll be very difficult at influencing change, promoting ideas that promote more sales, because they each have a language they are ready to speak with. If you still speaking kitchen language, when you talk to the different stakeholders, like the owners, corporate suppliers, you are going to look as if you don't belong in the position. And yes, I understand no one has taught us chefs how to do this. Me, I had to learn it. At the record, I helped manage 350 million in annualized revenue around six outlets. And for 3 years, I felt like the stupidest person in the room. I was a great chef, great cook, whatever. But the moment my tribe changed, the moment I had to understand my new stakeholder web, I was performing very poorly. I had to learn it. So I do urge you, know that by now and start learning it. Start learning the language of business because that's what everyone else speaks. Kitchen speak is only for the kitchen tribe. Next, you have to understand, like I said, you are the COO of F&B revenue, which means you have multiple revenue streams. If you're in the hotel, that means multiple outlets. There's the breakfast buffet, which is tied to room occupancy. There's in-room dining, which is a service requirement for hotel stars. There's a la carte and signature spots, which are good. There's the cafe lobby lounge. There's the pool menu. There's the fine dining restaurant that's always empty. And we're going to discuss why hotels keep it open anyway in another episode, because that's just a whole bag of beans. And then, of course, there's banquets. Now, banquets are the engine room for most F&B operations. They're the biggest transactions for sure. Some transactions can reach in the millions, and that's what your GM wants. That's what the owners want. And usually, when you have banquets, you're dealing with inventory that already exists. Believe it or not, your food costs can drop as low as 22, 21, even 18 if you're intense. But what's important is we give the customer excellence. We don't cheapen their experience by giving them bad food. It's just understanding your inventory really well. You design your entire ecosystem so that when there's a banquet, ultimate high leverage move, you can charge a lot but still deliver a good experience. Weddings, corporate events, you name it. 400 packs, 1,000 packs. That's what you want to get into. Next up is your ambition versus reality check. There is an invisible work to be done now with Executive Chef. You're not supposed to be in the kitchen. Some of the kitchen people that have no clue what executive chef means. You make jokes. Ano ba yan si executive chef? Wala naman sa kusina. Guys, that's the most amateur, ignorant comment any cook can make. You obviously do not understand the business, the weight, the role, the responsibility of executive chef. The executive chef has to meet their targets, and they have three targets of sales. They have to cook 500 to 1,000 plates a day, plus banquets. And they have to do it almost 24 hours a day if they have IRD. So, the way that you do that is through systems, developing your lieutenants, your talent, making sure that the processes are proper, etc., etc. So it's really not about plating, about cooking. If you're plating and cooking as an executive chef or you see your chef doing that, it's because they miss the kitchen so much because it was the easiest, most fun part of their life. Because once you're executive, oh boy, it gets really, really tough. And last but not the least is the concept of the fiduciary duty. Like I said, this is the big secret. The fiduciary duty is a concept where you are a steward of a multi-million dollar brand and asset, your property. This means your personal life must align with your brand alignment. They matter. You have to take care of what you post online, how you behave outside and inside the workplace, because you must align with corporate brand. Guys, I hope this helps. Stand by for episode 2. There's more.